All right, guys. Fula coming to you with another video. So the smoke is all but cleared in regards to the Spence and Ugas fight. Um, what I make of it is it was just a war of attrition, and the thing is that Ugas he was in the pocket most of the time, and I think the reason why he was in the pocket most of the time is because he knew that was possibly the only way he can get a decision. The only problem is not enough punches were thrown on his side. Okay. And I think the reason why not enough punches were thrown was because it's pretty much, I want to say, when fighting Errol Spence is kind of like a barracuda. And a barracuda just chomps away at you until it's just like no more. You know what I mean? It doesn't just like take one big bite out of you. Right? It pretty much just, chews away until it's like, okay, that's all that's needed. You know what I mean? So when Earl Spence says he's a big fish, I think that's the big fish he's talking about. Because a shark, he'll just take a chunk out of you, right? Whereas a barracuda, he just chews away at you. Now, the thing is that I don't think there was a plan B in regards to Spence and what he was trying to do. I think with what he was trying to do was just basically go at him, which he succeeded in, but in going at him, he kind of left himself defensively irresponsible. That's the thing. He was like defensively, because there was times where he was getting touched. You know what I mean? Trying to make the, I want to say, he made the statement, but in making the statement, he left himself vulnerable at times, right? But the job was done. Ugas, I rock with Ugas, but since he fought that fight, his next fight, he's not going to fight the same. Because I noticed that when Errol Spence fights people, they really don't come back like the same. I'm going to be real that they come back like damaged goods. For example, I want to say, you look at Danny Garcia, he ain't even came back yet. After the Earl Spence fight, he hasn't even came back. You look at Lamont Peterson, after the Earl Spence fight, he got stopped by Sergey Lipinets. The guy Ocampo, I don't know if he's been back either. Chris Algieri, Van Heerden, they don't come back the same fighters when they're done, right? Now, Earl Spence said that he wants Terrence Crawford. That was at the end of the fight. He said, "I want Terrence Crawford," right? The thing is this: although he was getting hit, he was getting hit, okay? Don't get it twisted. I still would favor Earl Spence in that fight. And the reason being that he's just bigger. Like, that guy is just bigger, bro. Like, that's the main thing. He's just bigger. And like, I will say this, you know, I mean, and some people won't believe me in me saying it. But I do think that Earl Spence is a bigger puncher too. You know, that's the one thing I do think, is that, yeah, Earl Spence, he's a bigger puncher. You know, he's a way bigger puncher. Terrence Crawford, many people may say that he's like more skillful than Terrence Crawford, or than Earl Spence, which I will give to them. But to be honest, I wouldn't say by much though. You know, I wouldn't say like that he's monumentally more skillful than Earl Spence. But I still favor Earl Spence in that fight. You know, I do favor him still. Now, here's the thing. And I'm going to end this video on this note. Boots Ennis would beat both of them, Terrence Crawford and Earl Spence. I still stand by that. I still stand by that. I still stand on my word that, me personally, I think Boots is the best welterweight right now. We'll have to see what he looks like against Clayton, who's an undefeated fighter. He's pretty big. He's pretty sturdy. We'll have to see what he brings him next month. And then, if he doesn't really bring him anything, then I'm just going to call it and say that, you know, Boots beats those guys. And those guys are going to eventually have to see him. And they can't dance around the fact that he's the elephant in the room. But let's see how he looks next month. And kudos to Earl Spence for the job well done. Kudos to Ugas for being a real warrior. But anyhow, y'all leave your thoughts and leave your comments on the fight. Foolish signing out. Njadama.